do first before I go anywhere is I'm going to isolate the natural log. To do so, I'm going to divide this by 2, and this will simplify the equation. So now we have that the natural log of x equals 9. Now the way you solve this is a natural log has a base of e. Okay, so we could replace this to say e to the power of 9 equals x. And we do this just by converting to exponential. So right here, I'm converting to exponential. And the reason we can do this is because they're inverses of one another, so we can solve it this way. Now all I have to do is go to my calculator and type in, I would go over and calculator here, and I would type in e to the power of 9. I press enter. Oh, sorry, gotta use this e over here. E to the power of 9, and there's my answer there. It would be that value right there. And so now we got our value. We have that x would equal 8103, and this says round to the nearest hundredth. That would be the second decimal place because hundreds have 2 zeros, so it'd be 0.08, and this would be our answer. Okay, let's try another one here. It says solve this equation round to the nearest hundredth, and again I'm going to isolate. Now, careful, this is not a base here. I'm going to isolate the logarithm first. So I need to get rid of the 7, and I do so by subtracting 7. And so when I do that, I have here that the negative 3 times the log of 10x is going to equal 6. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this all by negative 3. So when I divide both sides by negative 3, I'm left with the log of 10x is going to equal negative 2. And now I can rearrange this. I'm going to say the base is 10 here, so I'm going to say 10 to the power of negative 2 equals 10x. Now if you remember 10 to the power of negative 2, that negative is going to take the reciprocal. So instead of being 10, it's going to become 1/10. And if you square it, that turns 10 into 100. So this is actually equal to 1 over 100 equals 10x. So how do I get x by itself? Once again, I divide this by 10. So if I divide by 10, divide this by 10, and now it turns into 1,000, 1 over 1,000. So x would equal 1 over 1,000. And again, you could use the calculator if you don't know that math. But that would be your answer there. All right, so let's try one more of these. We've seen this type problem before. So now, if you have to solve this, that logarithm is isolated, so I would just go straight to converting. Now, one thing you could actually do is, remember, we can move the power out front if we like. So we could say that 4 log base 5 of x equals 20, and you could simplify the whole equation by dividing both sides by 4. And now I truly have isolated the logarithm, and I set it equal to 5. When I convert, remember this is the base, this is the power, this is the number, I would say the base 5 to the power 5 equals x. 5 to the 5th, and what is that? That's a big number. Let's go over here and look. So we'll go to the calculator. We'll say 5 to the 5th power. That is 3,125. And so that's how we would get our answer there. So x would equal 3,125. Again, you could, if you like, you could graph these, or you could even insolve it. All those are different techniques, but that's how you would get your answer there using algebra. Now you go ahead and see if you can solve this one.